Good morning, nuts and bolts listeners. Here we are yet on another Friday morning. Apologies for the little late start, but we had some technical gremlins who decided just to creep in last minute, but we managed to conquer them. So here we are, a new month, the month of love, February, but it's also the month of goal setting. And you might be wondering, why do we set goals in February and not in January? So, yes, we all have New Year's resolutions and then we set them and want to achieve them in the year. But when we start off in January, there are so many things that we have to consider again because it's a new year. We have to go back to work and adjust to that. And then we have maybe children who have to go to school and then we have to settle them in first. And so it goes. So January is normally the settling in month, and we just take a while to sort of reset our minds and prepare for the year ahead. But most people start really contemplating their goals and working on their goals comes February. And statistics have actually shown that if you look at all the gym memberships that people suddenly take up because they decide that they're going to be fitter and healthier for the year, all start off in February. So why is goal setting important for us? That's really our topic today for us. And we are all very familiar with setting goals. It's not something new for us. We do it all the time. However, our success rate in achieving them is very low. The question of why that is the case will be maybe for another podcast. But today we're really looking at why setting goals is important to us. And the main reason we actually either set goals is to prevent pain. So something is causing us pain or suffering, so we want to stop doing something, or we want to achieve something new, or we want to have more pleasure in something, so we start doing something. So our goals are either in two opposite directions. Either we want to stop doing something or we want to start doing something. Just listening to the language of these two goals, if you're going to start doing something or stop doing something, has a huge impact on your mind. Because if you start saying, I need to stop something, with it, it has a certain amount of negative energy. It has a level of guilt if you do not do something. Whereas if you want to start something, it has way more motivational, positive energy around it, and also will motivate you and you feel inspired to do it. So just sometimes looking at something you want to start or stop doing has a big impact on the success of goals. But why do we really need goals? And as human beings, we find a lot of meaning and purpose in goals. We are not able to navigate life quite rudderless or without any form of direction or purpose. And take something simple like going on holiday. You might not have goals going on holiday, and you will toss all your normal habits that you have during the day out of the window. But around about 3 or 4 days into your holiday, you start going back to a form of a routine, and it might be your holiday routine. But those little routines become your goals in the day, and the goals give you comfort. They make you immediately know how you're going to do certain things, and that just helps us. So habits turn into often goals. So if you want to achieve goals, you start off with your little habits. But that being said, why do we need goals? Now imagine you'd have a day without any goals. You have nothing to achieve, nothing to strive for, nothing to do. Might maybe be nice for a day or two, maybe 3, but eventually you'll get bored. You become bored because you feel unproductive and you feel you have no purpose. and you just feel that there is no sense. And that is why goals are very important for us. They provide us with that balance, that purpose, that structure. They know where we are going. Goals help us to grow. As human beings, we want to evolve. I mean, if we just look at Maslow's hierarchy, it says at the highest point, there is self-actualization, which is about evolving as a human being, really continuously reinventing yourself, growing and expanding. I mean, it's my personal philosophy that we have not been put on this planet Earth just to function or not to grow. I am a strong believer that every human being wants to grow. And for that growth, you need goals. As much as goals often get us out of our comfort zone and we don't always like them, or they stretch us a bit, that is really where that growth comes in. So goals really become very important for us. They give us energy. They give us attention. They tell us what to focus on. They tell us what not to focus on. They help us to say yes to certain things and no to other things. Goals help us to really honor and live out our values. So that is why setting goals becomes very, very important. Goals help you to self-regulate, because if you wouldn't have goals, everything would be attractive. So goals really help you to develop that perseverance and that resilience to say yes to something and no to something. Of course, we have short-term goals, medium-term goals, and long-term goals, which have different kind of focus around them. But in the end, they give us guidance. They tell us what really matters and what are you going to look at. I mean, look around you on your desk. What have you got around you? I'm sure you have little sticky notes somewhere, or you have reminders, or you have a to-do list, and you've got all kinds of things looking around you that help you today say, what are you going to focus on today? The question is, why are you focusing on these items? Are they helping you to achieve goals or not? If you wouldn't have anything on your desk, what would you do today? How would you spend your day? And yes, you might pursue all your hobbies and do other activities that are fun. But like I said, you'll do that for a while and then you'll get bored. When it comes to goals, we have to really be very clear about the goal. Why does this goal matter to us? Can we visualize the goal? Why are we really doing this goal? Can we see it at the end line? And then we need to maybe break it down into smaller steps, especially if it's long-term goals. And the key with goals and why they are important is that they, like I say, grow you. But what's important in that point is that we have to set goals that are meaningful and impactful for us. If we take on goals that are important for others or others wish us to do or change, we very quickly lose momentum because we do not maybe see the value in them. So if you have goals that have others put on you or have maybe requested for you to start or stop doing, and you cannot buy into that goal yourself with your mind and your heart, that goal will become a very strong battle and it becomes a chore. And if it becomes that, you will lose the motivation, the commitment, and the stamina. And the minute you feel stressed, overwhelmed, or anxious, or bored, you will stop pursuing that goal and you will default back to your old pattern. Hence, you'll notice a big shift for people who want to maybe, for example, stop smoking. Maybe it's a request that they've had from their family or their friends. But until you are not by your heart ready to do that, then that doesn't happen. So that is an important factor to look at. Going further on why we need to achieve goals, it gives us a huge boost in hormones. And we're talking a lot of hormones. So it impacts 4 hormonal layers in your body. We're talking oxytocins, dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins. All 4 of them, you get a huge spur of them in your body. So physically, your body is absolutely proud and celebrating if you achieve a goal, which naturally helps on building positive emotions, giving you resilience, perseverance, and building that self-regulation even more. And that helps to buffer immensely against stress and just learning to sometimes say no. So goals are really a key element of your well-being, your productivity, your life satisfaction, all of these items. Key to goal setting is that it doesn't have to be too overwhelming, that we don't put too much on our plates at the same time, or we try to juggle too many things. So we always have to really spend time to plan out our goals, to structure them, and spend time in it. What we also need to consider when we are planning out on goals is to look at which stage in the change development cycle we are in. And very often we are in the first stage, which is that we are hesitant about embarking on this goal, this change, this habit, this new behavior that we are looking to do. The reason is that we are not convinced of the outcome or the benefit for us. So we need to gather information at that stage, either using the internet, talking to friends, other people who've achieved it. So we really need to gather information to educate ourselves, to inform ourselves. And that is a key component to start with setting goals. And then you'll understand why this goal is really important to you. And then you can embark on the journey and make it through baby steps, a habit, until it becomes part of your personality, which does take around about 9 to 12 months. So if you're looking to embark on new goals, you need to establish that you are in for that amount of time, because it's patience and regularity of repeating the same goal or habit to achieve a certain goal. When you set goals, we also need to put in contingency plans, which is what happens if you've achieved the goal or things just go all awry. You've maybe been progressing towards this goal beautifully, and then something happens and it just totally throws you off the bandwagon. It's actually already preempting that and saying, if that happens, what is my support system? What is my structure? How am I going to go back to this? So when you engage with goals and why you want them, you need to think about all these things in advance. So goals and change go absolutely together. So if you're wanting to embark on why you want to embrace a goal, you at that same time also have to look at what is your level of change capacity, because goals and implementing goals in your life to achieve that meaningful life involve change. And with that, as I say, what is your level of change capacity? So if you are absolutely exhausted and saturated and cannot absorb any further change or amendments to your life right now, then setting very stretch goals or steep goals is maybe not the ideal time. And then it is ideal to maybe start with very small, gentle, slow goals, or even the goal is to help you to get into a more relaxed and calmer space for you to actually be able to navigate the goal that you have to or want to embrace, taking into consideration that everybody is right now at different levels or layers of a concept called change fatigue. And if your change fatigue is saturated, goal setting will be very difficult. So if you do want to set goals and you understand why you want to do them and that they're meaningful for you, you need to put all these checks and balances in place. You need to understand how you're going to do this goal, why you're doing this goal, how is it going to impact you, what is going to be different for you when you've achieved this, and how is your change saturation level at right now. So to give you an example, I embarked on my part-time PhD journey about 3 years ago. It's about a 6-year journey, so it's a very long goal to attain, and it's a online studies, so you do not go to classes. Everything is self-paced, so hence you need a lot of perseverance, motivation, and dedication to hold yourself accountable and just keep yourself going. You need a lot of self-regulation, and yes, you have many down days where you think, why did I do this? Why did I even embark on this? And you need to be very clear on why I did or enrolled for my PhD. And the reason I did it was not because I want the title. I don't mind if there is a PhD behind my name or not. I didn't do it to prove something to anybody. I wanted that PhD, and I still do, because I want to create change in the world and do research in fields that are so desperately needing to be researched on. So my why is very clear on why I embarked on this huge goal of applying for my PhD. And I have put the checks and balances in place and planned it out, structured it, look at my change fatigue, but I still have to be very flexible in the process, because sometimes I just am too tired. I'm mentally just too exhausted, and I have to step back, rest, and then go with the flow and embark with it again on another day. I have built support structures around me, peers who are also in the same field, who are there to guide me and help me, and we support each other and cheerlead each other on when the going gets tough. So that is why it is important that you need to look at all aspects of your goals. The key reason why we choose goals in our lives is for us to find meaning, purpose, focus, and also give us direction, and especially for us to evolve as human beings. Every day, we want to be a better version than we were yesterday. We don't want to be same. We want to really impart things. That is why we do goals. As human beings, it's just something innately that drives us. So set your goals. Spend time on really mapping them out. Be very clear why you want to achieve a goal, and then go for it. Take it in small bite sizes. Celebrate wins that you have, and just keep going. If a spanner comes along the way and throws you off, just sit back, reflect, re-question, reflect. Is this goal still valid to me? Do I still want to pursue it? If yes, how do I overcome this obstacle? So remember, goals are great. Have them, embrace them, use them. They make you become a much better person, and they give you satisfaction, fulfillment, and joy in life. So they are not a chore, a task, or anything that you have to do. It's really about, I want to do this. And alone thinking along them that way just creates so much more energy. So on that note, I hope you've gotten a bit of an understanding on why goals are important. And next week, we'll continue with how to set goals, why values are important, and measuring. So the whole month of February, we will be continuing on the topic of goals. So on that note, lovely nuts and bolts listeners, thank you again for tuning in. Remember, you can always re-listen to the live stream on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn. And have an amazing, happy Friday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep growing through life. Take care and goodbye.